And then otherwise, just thanks.
Yeah, thank you guys. That all sounds good. I'm pretty unembarrassable, so I'm sure.
Rhyme or free, it doesn't matter to me. It's my bad poetry. Good day, and welcome to My Bad Poetry, a podcast where we take a deep dive into our poems from youth, yesteryear, or even yesterday, always asking the question, why in the world did I write this? I'm Aaron.
And I'm Dave.
And today we have with us a writer of liturgy and litany, a poet of prayers and processionals, a builder of a book around bruxism that has a bite. Adrian Dallas Frandle, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Glad to be here.
Yeah. Well, it's
Nice.
I have so many questions about this book, and I'm sure we'll get into it. But to get us into the realm of poetry, Dave, what do you have for us today?
Get excited.
Okay.
I actually wrote two poems. I'm only going to read one because the other one, even for me, is too bad for this podcast. Walking by the flowers of purple, the man attaches the horse's curple. This walk I take every month, as instructed by the Guru Granth. Walking through Wales in orange, I come to the peak of Blorange. This walk leaves me covered in filth. I sip my water and notice the spilth. Here I can escape from all of the chaos I find in my own personal naos. On the wind comes a gentle rhyme. This must mean that, the end.
False lead at the end. I love it.
Dave, we've joked about this in the past of you trying to write one with the unrhymable words.
Yeah.
You did it.
I was like, is curple a writing term that I don't know about? I love that.
Yeah, curple is the rope that goes under a horse's tail.
Yes.
Wow.
You learn new things every day.
There you go. That's incredible. Now, what did you rhyme with? Month?
Grunth.
Grunth.
Was that someone's name?
No, it's a book of Sikh proverbs.
Oh, okay. What was another word you threw out there that I think you just made up?
Spilth?
No, that's past tense of spill, right?
It's the liquid that you have spilt.
Oh, wow.
It's a Shakespearean word, so technically it counts, kind of.
Blorange?
That was the one.
Blorange is a hill in Wales.
Oh, hence the whales. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Look at you, Dave.
See, I do things. I also show up late.
There was a second where I was like, is it Wales with an H or with that? Hey, but this really cinches it. I love that.
Right? This is important context for my wonderful poetry.
Well, Dave, bravo. I think.
Indeed.
Unacceptable.
Well, Adrian, I don't know how you're going to top that, but you have given
Easily.
You have
Easily
given
you will top that.
I don't know if mine are as colorful.
Oh, yeah, but you've given us some here. Dave, yours was Untitled.
Yep.
Okay, well, you owe me cake. Adrian, you also have given us some untitled ones. So if we ever meet in person, you owe us cake. But this first one here we have is Untitled Prose Poem from 1996.
Yeah, I have like a box of, one of those that everybody has, a box of just like random papers and stuff that has been
Yes.
accruing in my house for decades that my mom keeps going, I'm going to throw out unless you go through it. And I
Right.
finally went through it and she still didn't throw it out. But some of it out sort of like I have to judge by both my handwriting, my use of like, 3-hole punched line paper and stuff about
Hmm.
where it is in the strata of the stack, sort of
Yes.
what year it was. So I'm sure this is it. It also is very like melodramatically middle school.
I love it. I love it. Okay.
Right.
Let us hear a melodramatic middle school poem.
Great. Untitled prose poem around 1996. It's sort of a dull pain to realize the world hates you, to recognize that grace is only partly permeable, letting those fortunate enough to conform to reality slip through life's minuscule pores. It's not the throbbing pang that comes with cuts and breaks, but the slow, relentless rush, the calculated attack of a cancer that has always, will always exist. It's always in the depths of your mind, dug up by casual quips or jaunts, a sort of numb pain. Sometimes it's so severe you forget what it's like to be relieved. Pain becomes your walk, your speech, your mood. When you can't reconcile yourself with the world. But you keep moving, keep eating, keep sleeping and drinking, keep dancing. Ignore visceral gnaw of hatred, the ever-present odor of oppression. You keep moving because you can't reconcile yourself with the world. You must reconcile yourself with yourself. It's all I have. So Icarus fell. So what? That the last line cracks me up. I saw that last one and I remember thinking like that is a line. Like
Yes.
It feels like it needs a snap. Icarus fell. So what?
So what? Yeah, exactly.
I love it.
It's phenomenal.
It's so over dramatic too. I did not like all of these like I'm just so the over the top metaphors, the cancers, the pain, I did it my I had a middle schooler's middle school, but it wasn't like that.
Right.
Really leaning into it there.
Yeah. This is impressively just like self-serious. Just,
Right.
Yeah. I was desperately trying to be, a serious artist.
yes.
I also found a page of like a novel. I remember being like, I'm going to write a novel opening. And it's like this. There was like some line in it that was like, although I don't have many years, I've lived enough life to fill several novels or something. No, I haven't. What am I doing?
In all of my vast array. Yeah.
I love how you kind of found a rhythm as you were reading this. Like you added some like attitude into this second paragraph, the ignoring visceral gnaw of hatred, the ever-present odor of oppression. It's just
I kind of had to slow it down too, so that part of that was like there's like so many syllables crammed into the one sentence, like trying to bounce over it. It's a cart on a like rocky track.
You had a lot to say. You were just getting it out there on the page. So I will say, I mean, as a fan of alliteration, for a middle schooler, this is some nice kind of subtle alliteration you've worked in, like the relentless rush, the calculated cancer, the odor of oppression. You have these nice little duplets here. It's fun.
I'm wondering now how cancer calculates.
I wondered that same thing.
Bad.
Yep.
It's a bad metaphor all around.
Yeah.
But it was very serious.
I also think in the 90s, we were far more accepting of cancer as a metaphor for all things bad.
Yeah, I don't love. Yeah. Obviously now have grown out of that and see the problem there. But like, yeah, there are a few of them now that I'm like, oh, baby, you got to learn some things aren't metaphors. Some things exist.
Right.
Yeah.
But the only one, it's really funny. The only thing I like remember, like I can like sort of connect back to real life that like brings up a picture of like my friends or whatever that I know is an issue is that like dug up by casual quips or jaunts. I remember at the time, like I had a friend who like I probably had a crush on, but also like used to make fun of me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd always be like, oh man, he's like said something mean again, but it was like just, you know, sort of cute sparring. And that I really had like a problem with quips. Quips.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Oh, man, just middle school flirtation in general is the most bizarre thing that we put ourselves through. I never want to relive those years.
Right? Yeah, so extremely problematic with just how like, oh, he's being mean to you, so that means he likes you, or she's ignoring you, so that means she thinks you're interesting. What?
Yeah.
Like this hurts my brain to relive.
And this is like still probably like a good 5 years before I'd come out also. So like imagining me in my little like Smashing Pumpkins t-shirt, like sort of angrily exploring the stuff that I'm like just, you know, not just kind of like looking at the iceberg.
Sure.
Not even exploring, just
Yeah, I am curious, because you've brought it up, and feel free to just shoot this down as a line of conversations. But do you think the being closeted at the time, or that kind of self-discovery, might play into some of the language you have here of feeling like you can't open up to the world?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, there was definitely like a deep feeling of being misunderstood and misunderstanding myself.
Sure.
But like, I think that the sort of like reconciling yourself with the world, where did I get that at like
right at the beginning?
I must have heard somebody say it, you know, like, but yeah, just trying to, there, it seems to be a like sort of churning sense of like, what am I doing here? How am I supposed to interact with everyone?
Yeah.
And then, you know, shoehorning in a Greek myth, which is very, very middle school.
Yeah. Always with the Greek. I love how many of our poets on the show bring the Greek. Do you think, I mean, I was super into Greek myth in middle school. Yeah. I did that for my 5th grade 3-panel research project.
Yes.
So,
I wonder if it's, I bet you could trace it just to like national curriculum or something.
Sure.
I think everybody has their Greek unit, like fifth,
Yes.
and we were like, whoa, cool. I was also really obsessed with like Egyptian mythology, but I think had the Egypt unit like beforehand.
Right.
So the snap statement at the end. I'm having a hard time reconciling it with the rest of the poem. I mean, it is a snappy statement, but what does it have to do with the rest of it?
I don't know. I think this is still part of my sort of creative practice. Is often it'll start with a line. Okay. Often that line is the first line, and I do remember, like, I probably wrote this down and was like, yes, I've got a banger line. I've got, which may have just meant that I was like, let's put it at the end of this. Yeah, it's also tragic, I guess.
No, it's Daedalus struggling to craft the pain for his son,
right?
In the humanity's inhumanity towards humanity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe it's like, you know, he fell. We keep going anyways. He couldn't reconcile himself with the world either. Maybe
trying to leave this world. He unreconciled.
What?
Remained unreconciled and he fell. But you say, so what? Oh gosh, no, that doesn't work.
No.
I don't think I'm gonna.
Maybe it goes with it, but you keep moving, keep eating, keep sleeping, keep drinking, keep dancing, no matter what. Even if that's all there, even if Icarus fell, so what? You got to keep going.
So it's the tragedy. It's the tragedy of a fallen sibling, of a fallen brethren.
Yes, maybe, or maybe I'm Icarus. I don't know.
Maybe.
I can't.
Dave, you love ambiguity in poem. This should be like your bread and butter.
Sure.
I was like, yeah, can I back this up by saying that my poetry resists fixed meaning?
There you go. That'll work.
You know,
that excuse is pretty much like, applicable to every situation, I think.
Right.
Also, I just love the fact that you're dating this around middle school time, and you had to work in the word pores.
Yeah. You know that was an anxiety at the time.
Yeah, it's like,
and life's pores are minuscule.
And my pores are huge.
Inflamed, pussy. It's an embarrassing thing right now. Oh, wow.
I feel like for me to write something like this in middle school, I would have needed like multiple thesauri.
I might have had a dictionary open in front of me.
Yeah, I'm impressed. You got visceral. I think that was like a ninth grade vocab word for me. Permeable. I mean, that's biology there. You got some good.
I loved biology. I'm sure that came directly from biology.
Oh, really?
We had a great 7th grade biology teacher. Yeah.
That's awesome.
This one too, it was just funny to see my handwriting on this one too. It's like, big lined paper with like very like my bubbly pencil writing. What I meant to say is I started to, when I was transcribing it for this, I put every "it's" was wrong. Was like not even. Ooh. It was just like it found a way to be wrong. It was just like we're all going to use the wrong one just inconsistently. So I started doing like sick after each one, and then was like, this whole thing is. But I thought I'd come clean and say that I did use, and still most often do, just rely on like Word.
100%. If
every
it doesn't,
single time I'm like, it is.
Yeah.
Is the okay.
If Word doesn't give me a blue squiggle or a red squiggle, I have no clue. It's in there forever. Dave, we have 2 more to pick from. What are you looking at here?
Well, I mean, I was thinking we have to go for Greek, but I did see Alleged Allegiance Undying, and I need to read that poem, because that hit me like a brick to the face. It felt like. So I think we have to do Untitled on a napkin, right?
Great.
Yes.
Yeah, and this one I found on a school, like a napkin with my high school logo on it. I was like, where did I write this? Like what? Like in the cafeteria? What is?
You were struck just eating that square pizza.
And some of it doesn't quite make sense, even though I'm reading it back. But the interesting thing about the napkin is it had all of my revisions on it. So it would be like, it was like one single nail. And I'd be like, no, on a single nail. Who knows?
That's incredible. Okay.
All right, shall I?
Yes, please.
Okay, yes. This is Untitled from a Napkin. This is probably 3 or 4 years later. I'm in high school at this point. So like 1999, 2000, something like that. On a single nail filed, along with the others, sunsetted against a silver moon, always against, battled, pitted like a peach, 2 halves who have not and never will themselves out of this state. Alleged allegiance undying, and they seem never to part, or seen the part they said it made him look. Idiotic in the middle of 2 extremes, the silver nail and the silver moonshine.
So I have one question that I feel like will help me understand this a little more deeply. What?
Yes, like I said, eludes fixed meanings.
Okay, okay, okay.
My entire brain and being at that point, I think. I believe, I mean, if I can back read into this, some of it.
Please do.
Again, I think it's my crush at the time.
Sure.
Unrequited, two halves of like one moon, one's a nail, maybe.
Yeah.
Is it a fingernail that's also a moon? That's what I'm wondering. It's like on a fingernail child.
Like
That's what I was thinking.
Oh.
But then it's a peach. Two halves of peaches.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure where the peach... I mean, like, yeah, you're working with nail moon on both sides of this peach metaphor.
I do have to say, yeah, my image systems still do this sometimes. I'll get feedback from folks that are like, so how... We went from fingernail to moon to peach. Can you help us there through that? No.
I wish I could.
Yeah. No, I will not.
So maybe, okay, so you're sitting there in the cafeteria, you're chewing your nails, and then you're eating a peach. And
some of this, like, I think I was trying to build around some of this, like, weird, like, enjambment that, like, ends and starts a sentence at the same time. The like two halves who have not and never will themselves out of this state. So it's like,
yeah, that's clever. Actually, I mean, I liked that turn of a phrase.
Right.
So I mean, again, for a high school poem compared to the crap that I wrote, this is incredible with the exploration of enjambments and stuff. I see you just put your cursor on the look there.
Yeah.
Why is that just hanging out?
I don't know. That was on its own line on the napkin. And I was like, I may have run out of napkin room. But I don't think so. It's like its own. And I also would have put idiotic on the same line with look if I was out of of white space. Sure. So yeah, I don't know. I made sure to preserve that here because I was curious about that myself.
Yeah.
Was there a stain on the napkin? You're working around.
Well, that was the spot that the peach pit was.
Ah, yes. It had it had soaked through and
yeah.
Oh yeah, and then moonshine at the end, which I shouldn't have known about moonshine. What was I doing?
The double meaning, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was really excited to find this one though, because I didn't remember writing much poetry in high school and middle school, like at all. Yeah. And then when I went back and found the box, like the one that I did not transcribe here for y'all, saved all of us many troubles, was there's like a 3-page poem on I think it was imitating Milton, like Paradise Lost.
Oh wow!
So it like starts out with a whole invocation to the muses and stuff.
Oh wow!
Like written out all the muses and what they do, and then all like 90% of the like mythical allusions in it are just like patently incorrect, just like totally false. It's so funny.
Oh, yeah, we're going to have to read
and I
that.
didn't remember that. I was like, oh, I guess I was writing stuff. There was yeah.
That's incredible. I do kind of like your reading back into this of the unrequited love, the two halves that never will themselves out of this state of being apart. I think that's a cute metaphor for a high schooler. I think it's I resonate with that. I think I don't think a lot of people do. And you're playing with allegiance that I think if it truly is a crush that's also a friend, if that's how you're describing that kind of allegiance, alleged allegiance, undying, and yet maybe you like wanted something more, and it's like, well, friendship versus love. Yeah. Yeah.
Alleged allegiance would make a good title for something. Maybe I'll steal that.
Yeah. Again, your play on with words here is way better than a lot of stuff we've encountered.
That's very true.
I sorted through a lot. So, like I said, there was a lot that was spared.
You mentioned,
fair enough.
you mentioned being friends with Jared Beloff. He's gonna knock you on the fact that you are alluding to the moon.
Oh, yeah.
Moon poetry,
Yeah.
a classic. All
Moon
poets
and
have to
birds.
do it. Moon and birds.
Mm-hmm.
Moon and birds.
Yeah, where's the hill in Wales? I mean, come on.
Where's my gorage?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's
Oh,
no
man.
Greek myth in this one, though, so
There isn't.
Yeah.
unusual, yeah.
Yeah. This was about the time that Disney's Hercules came out. I think that was also another thing in the zeitgeist that we have to remember is
Yes,
Disney's
true.
Hercules kind of hit around the late 90s here, kind of bringing it in vogue again. And it
Always
also
stayed at
was
the forefront of my mind.
always very,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm curious, do you think we can cover this third one? Just because it is Greek?
I've got time. If you all,
Sounds good.
It's because we take a jump.
yeah,
10 years.
Yeah, this is why I gave like sort of a chronological selection so that we could see
Nice.
the development of these shoehorned Greek myths. So this one is from around 2009. So I'm living in New York City and I am trying to figure out dating and all of that. And yeah.
Okay.
So Ganymede and waiting. We have titles now, by the way.
There you go.
We develop titles. By the time I'm 20 something, we're getting Ganymede and Mohawk, listless from unemployment, cloys and paints pretty pictures for Zeus, who can't commit because of the exhausting trip from his fifth floor walk-up village apartment. Anticipating talons piercing barely interrupt morning television, except that the weatherman reminds him of how quickly pressure rises with massive future fronts on the horizon. Manhattan dogs bray, apartment pets, poodles and pugs and their ilk, while your shoulders crush under pincher weight. As you are lifted up, you'll think, I'm broken, but the view is great. Nice little rhyme there at the end.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Stuck the landing.
That's another one where I have to sort of slowly go over it. I recognize my own what I now call chewiness. I've always done that where I'm just let's put as many syllables into this one sentence as possible that may or may not make sense. Anticipating talons piercing barely interrupt. I don't even know if the tenses coordinate there. Are the anticipating talons piercing? Oh, maybe
Are you anticipating
the talent? Yes, but they barely interrupt more. Barely
interrupt morning. Okay, so you have a bird in your apartment?
Well, in the myth, Zeus either sent an eagle or was the eagle that carried Ganymede away to be his cupbearer.
That's right.
So I guess Zeus, who someone is painting pretty pictures for. I believe this was about somebody else too. This is another crush.
Sure. The best bad poetry always comes from crushes.
I did not have a fifth floor walk-up apartment. But I know someone who did, and I'm pretty sure this is about him. He also had a mohawk, so that would confirm that.
Dave, another tangent. Dave, is this, correct me if I'm wrong, is this where we get the Greek harpazo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Enlighten me.
So harpazo is the Greek word for to snatch. And so in the myth of Zeus kind of kidnapping, it's harpazo. So it's in Greek New Testament, harpazo comes up in what evangelical fundies would reference as the rapture.
Yes,
It's a misinterpretation of the Greek in most scholarly opinions, but
Yeah.
Interesting.
You use interesting quite wrongly there, but
unneeded tangent maybe. But
I'm into the theological wonkiness.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, clearly. But before we get there, shout out to Lanny Stabile, because in this poem you reference
Yeah.
Zeus and you have dogs.
Yeah.
So
I should show this to her, right?
yes.
I know.
No.
Love that book. I love her book.
Although, so in this poem, if okay, never mind. I was gonna say your Zeus or your Zeus has the fifth floor walk up, so you are the Ganymede drawing pictures.
Unclear.
Ooh, unclear.
You are hoping to draw pictures
Yeah.
for.
Yeah, I think he would have been Ganymede because he had the mohawk.
Oh.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't
But
know.
then your fifth floor walk up. Come on.
Yeah,
No.
I'm mixing.
Yeah, no, wait. Was your crush a painter?
I don't know. I don't think so. He was kind of a club kid. If he painted, he certainly didn't show me any.
Prince, but if you can't commit because of the exam. Maybe you are Zeus in this because you were like, yeah, but he lives on the 5th floor and I don't want to walk that far.
It's possible.
I really like him, but man, that's a pain.
It's a hike.
It's real. Fifth floor walk up is insane. One of my best friends lived like 2 blocks away and to walk up, and I'd be like, no, Jessica, you come to our house.
That's awesome.
I would love to see you, but absolutely not.
Ganymede is anticipating
A pickup from Zeus, I think.
the pickup from Zeus, but not enough to like just care.
Yeah, not enough to walk up to his apartment. No. Maybe this is like free Uber longing. You know, like I want to see you, but I have no way to get to your apartment.
No way of getting there. And poor
I'm not going to walk up those 5 flights. There's also like a weird hinge after, barely interrupts morning television, except that the weatherman reminds him of how quickly pressurized. It's like, what?
Yeah.
But
something's on the horizon. Something. I love trying to parse this because it makes no sense.
And I know this one, one went through I'm pretty sure the first 2 I wrote once. In fact, I know I could see the revisions on the napkin. Sure. This one, I remember like emailing myself and like writing it, rewriting it. And I just remember I had when I searched my email, I had like several revisions of this from like my Hotmail account.
Right. Back when that was still socially acceptable.
Yes.
What I like about this last line is, as you are lifted up, you'll think. So, like, Ganymede does get snatched by the end. Okay. So, as
or will be, I guess.
Will be, yeah.
You will think, yeah.
Yeah, you will think. Okay, there's a future tense there. The future front's on the horizon. Okay, this is starting to make sense.
It's very generous of you.
Yeah. I'm broken, but the view is great. It's like, oh, I'm getting kidnapped, and but look at, I can see my house from here. It's like, it's like what a weird way to end this poem.
Yeah, it's almost that Icarus note too.
It is. It's
yeah.
Like, here's a final thing, but you know what? We have to deal with it because there's a view. That's fine.
Yeah. Icarus fell from the sky and died. I'm being snatched away for who knows what reason. But yeah, life goes on.
Yeah. Great view up here.
Yeah, snap. There you go. Well, these have been amazing. And I do want to get to your work, Book of Extraction. We've danced around it because you do play with metaphors here, and it's sometimes hard to kind of peg down, but it's this kind of meditation on teeth, but so much more. I mean, obviously, you're working through religious metaphors. You have Proverbs, Psalms, Revelation, you have processionals, and it kind of follows a liturgy in general, but it's working through like a dental exam. And now, Is this autobiographical?
It is.
Okay.
I was gonna. It's kind of a like tough sell when I tell people about it. I'm like, yeah, poems about teeth, about the dentist. You know, who
Yeah.
wants? Everyone loves the dentist.
Oh yeah.
No, but my sort of personal cross to bear has been just like a lifetime of dental malady stuff, grinding.
I had to look up what bruxism was.
Yeah, I've like so bad that when I was a kid that we left this one particular dentist because I've just always ground my teeth down so bad that it breaks all the enamel off. I've broken teeth, like all of it. When I was like in middle school, the dentist asked my mom if I was like using cocaine or any other drugs, like when I was like 11.
Wow.
Because
Oh my
like, he was
gosh.
like we don't see that in people that don't. So we left that dentist. But it was
Fair enough.
Yep.
I've had all sorts of so I've had a lot of time to sit in the dentist chair and think and come up with poems in my head. But I also have sort of like an anthropological curiosity about religion and the
Yeah.
body. And I went to a Catholic high school. I'm not Catholic myself.
Sure.
I was raised Episcopalian,
Mhm.
but have always had like a second family essentially that was very Catholic, and so always found sort of the like ritual and sort of high ceremony of it like just fascinating. So that I think and had to go to a lot of church that I not that I had like a traumatic experience with it, but like had to go to a lot of church and did a lot of daydreaming and stuff. So I think that like
Right.
the structure kind of like was mashed up between like my daydreaming church brain and my daydreaming dentist brain.
Right. I love that as a pairing.
That's
It's like,
incredible. Yeah.
I feel like that's a pretty universal experience of sitting in the dentist chair and just like, how long can I stare into this bright light? Or there's a
Seriously,
little
yes.
stain in the corner there.
Yeah.
And how many people have also had that exact same experience in a church where it's like, the sermon is going on very long. I'm going to count the lights and see how many light bulbs there are or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
There's kind of like a just random section that pops out of nowhere in the book that's like I imagine is like the little dream ballet section that is supposed to kind of capture that, where it just like breaks out because my mind would have wandered. My mind wanders like that, and it would have wandered
Right.
sitting in church service. So, and at the dentist.
Yes. Yeah, you have the waiting room homily and the waiting room sociology of teeth, the salvation of teeth. I love this. I'm not going to say it was a fun read, but I mean like I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. The way that it mashed these two things together like your teeth. I'm sorry.
Well, I tried to, yeah. I mean, like it's like I said, it's like you've gotta, yeah, like having it be, I think, tonally heavy and be about dentistry. It's probably
Yes.
too much. Like a whole, super serious book of teeth poems would probably be is above my skill level, I think.
But it really does touch on like big issues of like, I mean, to lose part of yourself and kind of the newness of extraction. And I was curious, and you kind of leave it ambiguous, but before we were chatting, I almost wondered if you had full dentures.
I mean, almost.
Almost, yeah. And
Pretty much. Like the last time I actually was just at the dentist on Friday because I'd cracked a tooth and it turned out not to be a crack. It was just a cosmetic thing. Anyways, the dentist goes, well, eventually we'll just have to sort of replace all of your fillings and your teeth are mostly filled. We can't really do veneers at this point because it's just not stable enough. And I was like, oh, fun. That's great. There's that poem, I think, towards the end where it's just like imagining having like Terminator's teeth.
yes.
I've said to my husband and my mom, like maybe 10,000 times that I'm like, just take them out and put a machine in there or something. But like,
Right.
if I could trust that, I would. But also, like anybody could afford that. That's the other, I guess, dimension of it is just an indictment of the healthcare, especially dental care system.
Right.
Yes, I definitely picked up on that. The broken American healthcare system, the bills that just for basic required, like we need our teeth. We need, yeah. Oh, it's an incredible read. So, yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, it was a long time in the making, and one of those things that I sat on for a while. I mean, I have continuous material for it, like I'm out the dentist weekly, but I had, sort of played around with it, and finally that sort of liturgical structure kind of clicked into place, and I was like, okay, this feels more right, and then sent it out to a few places and didn't really hear back, and the publisher that ended up taking it, KIF, they're fantastic. They're awesome people over there. So I couldn't be happier. It's, I think, going almost into its third run. So
nice.
That's incredible. Yeah. Well, this has been a blast.
I've had so much fun. Thank you.
Sounds like you have plenty of material, so we're going to hold you on the hook to come back someday.
I would come back anytime.
Awesome.
Wonderful.
Well, is there any other material you want to plug out there? Or stuff that you have kind of bubbling?
No, it's I'm fortunately sort of taking a break while I'm finishing up the MFA and stuff, or doing the MFA from submitting, which has been a lovely, I have like an empty submittable queue, which is a strange relief. So yeah, I've lots of good stuff coming. I'm still working on stuff and submitting it every now and again. But yeah.
Do you want to do a shout out to anything that your husband's written recently? I didn't know he was a writer, but
yeah, Michael Todd Cohen. He is an editor at X-Ray, but he's got, if you Google, he left Twitter recently out of sort of techno-fascist frustration. Yep. Understandable.
Very understandable.
And but I think he has some exciting stuff coming up in the fall. So yeah,
sweet, yeah,
cool,
very cool. Well, Adrian, we have come to the sending of this service together. But we here at My Bad Poetry end each week with the words of a true poet. So before we let you go, would you be willing to bless us with another one of your poems today?
Let's see. I will do one that just came out in the Blue Mountain Review.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. Yes, that Nicole Tallman, friend and amazing poet, just came out in the latest issue. So
sweet. Great.
This one is Ode to My Husband's Parasomnia. There is some gradient text in there that is a sonic component that's sort of whispered because we're in a dreamland. So
cool.
Ode to My Husband's Parasomnia. Train tracks in a velvet forest vanish into the clovered corridors of your sleepscape. Icy steel rails, parallel trajectories with their wave patterns overlapping. Damp peels from far down the foggy tracks. My feet cramp and night creeps up cold through the soles. Can I compete with the magnetism of your nightmares? Grace glides fingertips over a field of your lashes. Those ferns unfold a story, mumbled in the language of slumber. I hear oak ties crumble under authority of lichen, subjects to an iron rule of rust. O ochre, my love for your terror is pure, whose voice moves me to quiet you, whose lips lead to the hush of holding you.
To me, I'm here, I what's his name? Pablo Neruda. Like that's what I'm hearing in that. Like the terrifying but beautiful, the dark but joyful. I love it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I was excited. I was excited for this one.
Yeah, you should be.
Rightfully so.
Yeah. So check that out in the Blue Mountain Review, everyone. That's incredible. Yeah. And the again, the subtle alliteration you worked in there, much better than your self in '96, I will say. This has been My Bad Poetry.
Now go write some of your own bad poetry. Yourself.
Yeah. And then come on the show. No, this is awesome. Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, guys. It's awesome.
Rhyme or free, doesn't matter.